District 3 Freeholder candidate Arnold Williams met with Hudson County TV at the League of Black and Latino Voters in Jersey City Monday to discuss his candidacy. While Williams has come up short against incumbent Jeff Dublin twice already, once in 2008 and again in 2011, he told us why the third time would be the charm in his own words. A lot of people are dismissing your candidacy in this election, so I'm sure you would like to respond to that underdog status and how that motivates you and just what goes through your head when addressing that topic.
Well, the truth, crushed to the earth, will rise again and again. So, you could dismiss, you could place Arnold in a little neat box and categorize him as someone who's doing this for whatever reasons they may expound on. But I'm here to tell you that I'm a viable candidate. I do what, and have always done what was necessary for my community. I have a whole history of being active in this community by which my activities, some of the very people who are in office today, and their candidacy all speaks for itself in the fact that, I helped get them there.
There's been two elections where you put your name in your hat in the ring, I guess I should say. Didn't work out in your favor, so why should voters think this third time will be the charm for you?
Well, there's actually nothing in the way. There's no Obama campaign. In 2008, when I ran against Jeff Dublin, I failed to mention this. I became an out-of-state volunteer coordinator for Obama. So quite frankly, everything I did in Hudson County, everything I did here on behalf of myself, made it look like I was running against the organization's line. This time around, and the only thing that I agree with Steve Fulop on so far, the verdict is truly still out about who he is and what he's about to do for the city. All this talk, all this fanfare, all these headlines is nothing different about Steve Fulop. But in terms of Jeff Dublin and what's different for me is the fact that, number one, I agree with Fulop on that area, that he needs to go, but he's not the only one need to go. There's quite a few so-called elected officials in this town who's in the way of progress in Jersey City.
And now, I hate to get off topic, but you mentioned that Mr. Dublin, not the only official in Jersey City that you'd like to see out of there. Would you care to elaborate on that?
Well, I don't just mean out of there, because, in the process, if I'm elected, I think, and if I'm particularly elected with the kind of numbers that'll say to this administration and everybody else who's elected, if Arnold's elected and I'm the guy who everybody keeps, writing off, then it'll send the kind of signals that'll ultimately cause them to line up with what the community wants, what their district wants, in Manor or Sandra Cunningham wants. I think that there's some things that they do that is right, but ultimately, with regards to taking political positions that may not be popular or may not be in sync with who Steve Fulop or what he wants, taking certain positions, we've not seen that from much of them.
Getting back to the race and the incumbent, Mr. Dublin, a common criticism is that he hasn't done anything since he's entered office. So what I'd like to ask you is just what do you think you could do differently, and what do you think would be some top priorities should you make it to the county freeholder seat in District 3?
Well, one, I'd like to sit with all of the other municipalities, not just their freeholders. A lot of times the freeholders are not lined up. You might have that argument about me if I'm elected, that I'm not lined up with Fulop, but at least I'm willing to sit down and talk real issues. That's different. That's the job of a freeholder. I'd like to bring some of the priorities where it concerns, our roads, our parks, our jail system, the way we treat our employees. You got county employees, for example, who are running around here fearful of saying anything or how they truly feel about a certain issue because they're afraid of losing their jobs. I'd like to change some of that.
I'm John Heides, Hudson County TV, Jersey City.